As he takes a big old bite.
Yo, you really? God damn it.
A big old bite.
So we're the Grays. This is Trey Ocho, and
Yo.
I am Sparkmatic.
Just taking a bite out of my Whopper. This is Nickel City Blend.
Yeah, we're happy to be on Nickel City Blend. Couldn't lie and say that we're not co-creators, but we figured we'd get the ball rolling. We're interested in getting a lot of other artists in here. But we also figured it's a good way to introduce ourselves to you guys. So, we got some questions. Gonna have answered.
How did you guys meet?
Oh shit, that's a good story actually. That's a really good story.
Yeah.
Because it started at an idea concert. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met at a show at, where was it?
Sound Lab.
Yeah, at Sound Lab. It was Idea and Abilities, Christoph Crane, and...
Type Relevant.
Yeah, Type Relevant opened up without Deuce.
Shout out to Mamadou.
Who else was there? Who was the people who opened? Educated Consumers.
And Educated Consumers, yeah.
But this was probably, what was it, in August?
Yeah.
So it was only a couple months before our Idea's passing.
Yeah.
And I had been tampering with beats and stuff a bit, but it was after that show, like, Idea was so cool, he freestyled with us, and he hung out, you know what I mean? Like, we were people that he had known for his entire life, like, he didn't treat us any different than anyone else.
Yeah, that was definitely dope because the show was...
Yeah, and their performance was so live that I, like, went out and put a down payment on a drum machine the next day.
Yeah.
Like, I went from Fruity Loops to seriously investing money in making beats. And we started communicating online when I found out how much writing he had done and that he was really talented and he had had a history in emceeing besides that. So I just kept hounding him basically for a year until we started recording.
Yeah.
And over that period of time, I had started freestyling and doing some other rapping, and he basically forced me into writing on the first track we started recording, and it just turned into Project Gray Matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird transition because the way we started off, like I took a crazy hiatus from writing anything that was rhythmically associated with hip hop, like a lot of poetry. Like even if I stop doing hip hop, like it's gonna change face. And you you kind of brought, you know, the instrumentation to a lot of my ideas. I was like, oh yeah, you know, sample this, sample that.
Yeah,
whatever.
which going from a generally more hip hop oriented style, you know, with I know you and your brothers with a lot of the influences that you had, to writing the way that you were after reading a lot of Whitman and Joyce and, you know, being more literature based, and then going back to hip hop over, right. You know, I don't have necessarily the most traditional beats a lot of the time.
Right.
Created a much different style, and
it gave you more free, I mean, like the two of us more free reign. Because, you know, I was almost done with hip hop, and it was just like, you know, I wanted to get into everything else, and I was pretty much experimenting more with, like, I don't know, just like 70s rock. You know, I was really big into like Hendrix and stuff like that, and I just found a lot of obscure sounds that you really adapted to fairly easily. So.
Well, yeah, because that's another thing that we had in common when we started working together is a disinterest in repeating a sound that already exists.
Yeah.
Especially in this area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So, guys, you made an idea. If you could session with anybody, who would it be?
Oh, that's a super clear answer for me. Oh man, Aesop Rock, man, I don't know. He influenced my writing style a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan too.
Yeah.
Any of that initial East Coast Def Jux. I mean, I know they're not Def Jux anymore, but LP, Cage, the rhyme say POS is like probably my favorite rapper right now.
Old
He'd definitely be
Raucous.
high on that list.
I was pretty obsessed
Raucous
with old school
records,
Raucous. Yeah. So Mos Def is a clear one.
So next question, I suppose.
What's your goal for Project Gray Matter?
To finish it.
large
And
part of
release
will be
it.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain what Project Grey Matter is?
It is a record that we made.
Yeah, that's pretty much the evolution of our friendship, really. You know what I mean? Like,
our introduction and creative influence on one another.
Project Grey Matter just got started, and it was just like, it started almost directly after we started working together, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
So it's, I don't know, the way it got started is weird because we literally would just sit and have conversations and, make songs upon those conversations a lot of times over.
Yeah, like you would come to me with a sample from usually some 70s rock tune like you were talking before, and I'd put it together and lay a drum break over it, and that would influence him to come up with a hook that would somehow influence me to write a verse, and by the end of the day we usually had a song recorded, or at least a rough version.
In a weird way, you can say that Project Grey Matter was written in 12 days.
Over 6 months.
Well, yeah, over 6 months.
Or yeah,
like,
like
no,
over
I mean,
a year almost.
as far as the writing process of it was concerned, it was
one day a week for 12
like,
weeks.
yeah, because I always had Tuesdays off. He always had Tuesdays off. It would be like we even.
So instead of just getting shit faced,
we even thought about
the 5 people
calling
that
the
we
album
knew.
"See You Next Tuesday" at one point, I think. But yeah.
Alrighty, that's enough of that.
Go.
So you guys seem to have a pretty good friendship that's established throughout this project. Seem to know each other really well, so who's the better freestyler?
Oh, hands down, this guy. Yeah, you're definitely, like, why deny it? You're definitely a better freestyler.
Yeah, he's a stronger writer.
That's what's up. Any other hidden talents?
We kind of do it all, I'd say. I do a lot of drawing. I paint Kid Robot toys, like a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm more of a conceptual artist, I think. Like, I don't know, like, it's not so much art in written
If
form
written
sometimes.
word can become visual art.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too. I mean, there's that, and then there's just like there are concepts that I just have rambling around my head and shit. And some of those are, written.
It's
forms of art.
extremely influential on what becomes the visual portion of the project.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Game over, man.
All right. Well, let's talk about Nickel City Blend. What exactly is it?
Nickel City Blend is an outlet for visual and musical artists in this area, hopefully, starting with people that we know and expanding to people that we think deserve attention.
Yeah. Buffalo has a lot of talent, and we want to see it all. Doesn't matter what genre of music you're doing, or actually, what genre of art you're doing. We want to see it all, and we're giving you, it is what it is. Nickel City is Buffalo.
We're gonna have much better lighting next time, though.
All right,
This lighting's fucking. This lighting's got to go.
Better lighting next time.
Yeah, we're gonna have much better lighting
And
next time.
that's part of what Nickel City Blend is getting better lighting. So
We know there's a lot of projects dedicated to doing this kind of thing, but there's also a lot of artists that nobody can really know everyone who's involved. So the more programs and projects there are that are dedicated to calling attention to musicians.
I'll be honest, I have no problems pulling anybody in. Like,
Yeah.
if projects merge, all I want to see is music out there. I want to have a platform for any local artist to come in, whatever it is. Like tonight we did, a couple raps, we had a couple of just poetry readings, we got people showing up now, we're going to do probably some acoustic stuff over, some freestyle. So, I mean, we're going to try to cater to all kinds of music. Come spring, I want to see
Yeah.
the garage opened up. I want to see
Bands that can perform acoustic sets even now.
like just come in
A lot of
and
people we plan
And
on contacting.
you know, and this it makes it a hub for Buffalo artists to meet and even possibly collab with. And I mean, like, yes, I'm including ourselves, but like, you know, other things. You know what I mean? Like there are MCs in Buffalo that I want to see with guitar players in Buffalo. Like I would like to see that, you know, the artistic movement in Buffalo, like.
And
Collide.
the more net that you create in an artistic community, the less possibility there is of being ignored. Like if you can really co-op with everyone who is making music actively and everybody who is really interested, then it represents itself, you know, as long as you're serious and you keep producing a product.
Right, I mean, it's how we met, and I mean, like, we've even have collaborations, like, with, you know, Hyper Scott, that just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we've done tracks with Scott McCallum, Johnny Proper, who was a local MC, members of the 716 regime, Bagel Jesus, Nori. Spoke to a lot of people and are basically working with anyone who's willing and can maintain themselves in a social atmosphere.
Well, speaking of producing, tell us about the beat process.
I'm doing most of the production on every project we've worked on. I work a little bit with Bandinelli Brothers, Johnny and Ryan, DJ Bando, but mostly I'm working hardware, software with Native Instruments machine as sample sequencer, and it's all done in our living room because we live in a very small apartment.
Yeah. As a funny thing to talk about too, because we're roommates too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're the starving artists, and
We share a 1.5 bedroom apartment.
yeah.